I mean, man, all right. The Florida Gators beat the Georgia Bulldogs 85-80 in the second round of the SEC tournament. Pretty sure all of us aged at least a couple years. We're going to talk about that here on Locked On Gators.
You are Locked On Gators, your daily podcast on the Florida Gators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
There we go. Had a little error there. Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Gators, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free wherever you listen to the podcast and on YouTube. Happy Friday, I guess, because it is currently 12:30. But yeah, it's 12:30 on Thursday night, Friday morning. I'm Brandon Olsen. Find me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find on Reddit, Roku Giants, Country NFL 33. First off, I know I don't usually get into the chat early, but Q, yeah. It's a wild one. It was one hell of a game. They're so stressed. This is just so stressful to watch this game. And also, can we talk about how rude it was that like this game went so long? How inconsiderate was it that this game went until 12:30? It was just a ridiculous game. Florida. So there's a couple things. I realize that a lot of people complain about the officiating and how there's so many foul calls against Florida. It's Florida. Like that's it. That's the only way I could describe it is, first off, fouls were pretty evenly split. I know, of course, Georgia was fouling at the end and then really piled it up there. But like this team plays messy. I think that's the best way to say it. They play messy. And I mean, Tyrese Samuel, there were two things I tweeted out, I think, at halftime. And I said, offensive rebounds don't matter if you're not converting second chance points, which Florida only had. I think at the time that I tweeted it, Florida had 4 or 5 offensive rebounds. And so that's one. Offensive rebounds don't matter if you don't convert the missed opportunities. That's just a thing. Like, congratulations, you get a hustle stat, but if you do nothing with it, it doesn't matter. And free throw attempts don't matter if you don't make them. And free throw attempts are a thing that just matter to Todd Golden. Free throw rate is one of the metrics that he likes to pay attention to. That's something that he looks for. But like Tyrese Samuel, dude, 9 for 23 from the free throw line. That's ridiculously bad. Like 9 for 23. The rest of the team got what? 14 for 18 from the free throw line, and he shot 9 for 23. That's embarrassing. Genuinely, that's embarrassing. I'm surprised Georgia didn't have more fouls, because the second we got into the bonus, to be like, all right, get on the line or get out of the game, Tyrese. Like, that's what we're doing. We're fouling you until you're either making these free throws all of a sudden or getting taken out of the game, because that's it. There's no reason to respect anything he does. And like, stop pump faking. If you're just going to break every free throw, stop getting under the basket. No, don't do it. You're useless then. It doesn't matter if you're just going to break everything. Just stop. And I understand it's very hypocritical to be like, oh, stop trying to get to the free throw line. But like, if you're not making the free throw attempts, there's no true value other than we're running up their foul count. That's it. We're just running up their fouls. But if we're not making them pay with free throws, then guess what? You're breaking them, they're getting the rebound, and then they're getting points. So they're trading a foul for points for themselves. Yikes, right? It was just, it's messy. I hate Jalen Deloach. I can't stand him. Like, he did the whole little to Todd Golden, he's too small, 5 points. You had 5 points. You're embarrassing. You're pathetic. It was just it was such a messy game. Like, and Q, we were in the subtext chat. If you are not a part of it and you want to be, it's joinsubtext.com/LockedOnGators. Q and I were talking in the subtext chat. It's like, I don't want to see Walter Clayton Jr. near the basketball with a late lead. Like, if there's under 45 seconds left and Walter Clayton Jr. is near the basketball, I'm mad. Because you look at the Vanderbilt game, he had the turnover when he was inbounding. And then tonight, he got the ball. They tried fouling him, and he turned it over. And if it wasn't for Denzel Aberdeen legitimately just doing that, then Georgia cuts the lead to 1 at that point, and it gets really messy. And so this team this is the quintessential game of when I say this team is on paper built for like a late March run, but then when you actually put it, they fold. Like, you ever watch WWE and WWF in like the 90s and early 2000s, and they have those steel chairs? That's this team. Every time something meaningful happens, they fold so consistently. It's ridiculous. Like that, I don't know how to describe it, but they just don't. They don't have that dog in them. It's a simple, like, that's what you can say about this Florida Gators men's basketball team. They don't have that dog in them. Because when it comes down to meaningful moments, they screw it up. Like Riley Kugel, first off, 1 for 6 shooting is horrible. But it was late in the game. He's reaching for steal. Why are you reaching? Why are you reaching when they're in the bonus? It's like, dude, just play your man and don't worry about the ball. I don't get some of this. And it's to the point where, like, I understand. Again, I know I'm not nearly as good with basketball as I am with football. But there's some things that, to me, I'm just like, it shouldn't be this difficult. The Zion Poland fouling out, like, I strongly disagree with that last foul. But also, there are so many times where there's just stupid plays made. Like, I don't know how Alex Condon didn't get a tech when I forgot who it even was that fouled him, and he just, like, he's like, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? I understand you're playing fairly well at this moment. But dude, like, there's like contextually, this team knows nothing. You know that movie Poor Things that just came out, like, won the Oscar, and it's like, oh, we put a child's brain in Emma Stone's body. That's like this entire basketball team. They don't know anything what to do situationally. Like, in the University of Florida, just get some kind of situational awareness, some kind of positive situational play from any sport that matter. Like any time that matters, they just don't know what to do. It boggles my mind. Honestly, it wrecks my brain every time. I don't get it. I don't get how you can pay millions of dollars. Dude gets a contract extension, and immediately, actually, we'll golf clap it. We'll golf clap it for Todd Golden, because they actually faced a zone and did things to beat it. Tyrese Samuel just waiting at the free throw line to kind of just be in that soft spot of the zone, whether or not he made them pay. By the way, he shoots floaters from the free throw line better than he shoots free throws. Like, what? It's a weird thing here. But like, just waiting at the free throw line there, it helps beat that zone. Like, you actually play you do something well, and that helps your team there. Like, congratulations, Todd Golden. It took you a while, but you finally figured out some things you can do to beat a zone. Very happy, very proud of you for that one. But there's just some things where I just don't understand it, and I feel like I'm going in on them. It's probably because they played a 2.5-hour basketball game that was just there. There were 54 fouls in that game. 54 fouls. It's bat-ass crazy. It's ridiculous to me. Chat, I see you guys saying things. We'll get to you in just a second to wrap up this live show that is going to go until almost 1 a.m. because that's just the life that we live in, which, by the way, the Florida Gators play the Alabama Crimson Tide today, whatever. 9:30 p.m. Eastern time is when the game is scheduled, which is also when this game is scheduled and started about 10 o'clock. That's my same expectation for the game against Alabama, which is the rubber match here. It's going to be one hell of a game. I'm excited for it. I do think that the matchup is just a really fun one. Alabama's not big on zone, so got a chance. I'm just saying. We'll get to the chat in just a second, but first we're going to get a quick word from a couple of sponsors. This week's March Madness bracket highlight is brought to you by our friends at Nissan. Each week, we're picking one team that stands out, a team that's pushed it farther than the rest, right? Just like any of the all-new 2024 Nissan SUVs, these guys were able to take it to the next level. And I'm letting you know now, this says Tennessee is the team to talk up. I'm not going to do that right now. You know who I'm going to talk up? The Utah State Aggies. That's who I'm going to talk up because they're this week's Nissan Rogue, all right? They're the team that surprised everybody with a powerful performance against New Mexico. More importantly, beat Fresno State and hit my parlay this morning, earlier today. So thank you. Golf clap for you. They say win life, go Rogue. That's exactly what the Aggies have done here. Take the Nissan Rogue, Nissan Pathfinder, or Nissan Armada and go find your next big adventure at shopnissanusa.com. And also, Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as Fire Stick TV, which is also Fire TV Stick, which is also plugged in to the back of my TV in the living room. It's how I just watched this absolute nightmare of a game where I was so certain Mike White was going to screw with the Florida Gators one last time. It's what I was very much prepared for. So whether it's opening weekend for baseball, college basketball tournament, whatever it may be, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. And Fire TV recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us at Locked On. Locked On Gators, Locked On Canes won't be doing much about the March Madness tournament. I can let you know that one. And I got to take a shot every time I can, right? Fire TV channels let you dive into all the game analysis, highlights, and more to keep up to date on the latest in the world of sports, March Madness, the NBA, the MLB, hell of a lot more. Not to mention great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, and cooking videos as well. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust me. We're on there. To learn more, visit www.amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. Thanks for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Literally, if you've listened to something before this show went live at 12:30 a.m., if you happen to fit a whole show in that you listen to in that half an hour, stop it. Get some help. Okay, because this has to be your first listen of the day. All right, has to be. We're gonna hit the chat here because I feel like I've seen a lot. I see Mudkip is back. Mudkip plays. I love you. I was telling my friend about you the other day. So I was like, hey, I had a Mudkip in my chat, and Mudkip, my favorite Pokemon back then. So thank you. Says, I don't know how the hell I'm supposed to defend some of this tough and hard fought win, but damn, too close. Yeah. It's one of those things where I go, oh, I'm happy that you won the game, but like, what the hell did I just watch? And that's what this basketball team loves to do to me, and it drives me absolutely crazy. Can't be doing all that fouling tomorrow. It'll be no. If you foul like that against Alabama, pack it in, big dog. Like, it's just pack it in because you're gonna lose. Q gonna be in Nashville. Love that. I'm thinking everyone went to bed almost dying. I don't know how anyone's going to bed. I can't go to bed after that. And also, MLB The Show just came out. I certainly can't go to bed now. Like, no, that's way too. I'm juiced right now. Like, I'm juiced. It's almost 1 a.m. Just had a close win in the SEC tournament. Hell of a game. And that's another thing. Like, I see a lot of people that It's hard for me to go, oh, the refs this, the refs that, because there were a lot of fouls on both sides, even before the intentional fouls late in the game. If Florida hits the free throws, they win that game by a lot more. Tyrese Samuel missed 14 free throws. 14. 9 for 23 from the line, according to ESPN. I know someone said 9 for 21. 9 for 23 from the line, according to ESPN. 14 missed free throws. I don't want to be a D-bag here, but like 9 for I could do that. I can do not I can't get 15 rebounds. But like I can shoot 9 for 23 from the line. That stuff's embarrassing. Blow by after blow by after blow by. Yeah, I don't know what it was, if they were trying to like bait Georgia into driving and getting a block. I don't know what it was, but man, it was rough. It was rough. Looked like Anthony Richardson versus Florida State in 2022 with the 9 for 23. Yeah, I would liken it to 2022 Anthony Richardson versus Kentucky, because that was the game where I remember in that post game, I was like, just go to the option. Just run the option, because the dude can't complete a forward pass. It was wild. Q said he's always turning the freaking ball over in crunch time. You're talking about Walter Clayton Jr. I don't even need context on that one. You're talking about Walter Clayton Jr. I know that. He always wants to be a 1-point game so you can drain a game-winning 3 or some dumb. I can't say that word on the live stream, Mudkip. Downfall of Mike White has to be researched, though. Riley Kugel's dad's going to beat the hell out of him for that goofy reach. Mental mistakes. Now we play Bama tomorrow. Hope they do not start playing zone, and hope Mark Sears, but he's probably going to turn it up in the last 10 minutes and drop like 30. Yep. They deserve to be gone for the fact that wins win. And I don't know if this is one of the worst wins I've seen. It's definitely bad. Tony, I don't even know what the thank you, Brandon, was for, but you're welcome. That's where we're at. Refs calling air fouls. Even if like there were a lot of bad fouls, I think, on both sides, and it's just hit your free throws. Again, like it's as simple as that. Because even if you want to talk about all the fouls that got called against Florida or Tyrese Samuel shot 9 for 23 from the free throw line. So if he's hitting those, you got a much bigger margin of victory here. You're not playing guys. Florida had a rotation that went what? Really 8 deep. Denzel Aberdeen only came in at the very end for free throws. So really you had a rotation that went 8 deep on Thursday night, and then you got to play on Friday night now against a well-rested Alabama team. Like, it's going to be rough. It's probably going to be rough. You're going to be gassed, and you're going to be like, you've already been very sloppy, and now you're going to be gassed after that. It's going to be tough. Going to be tough. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'll get my hopes up at like 8:45 p.m. is probably when I'll start getting a little jazzed about it. But yeah, I forgot Riley Kugel's arm got smacked to hell and no foul call. Yep. Whiplash from how much I was looking up after each, play. It's hard to beat a team 3 straight times. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It is hard to beat a team 3 straight times. And I get that. I feel like Florida made it harder for themselves. Like, it's hard to beat even a semi-competent team. And by that, I mean a team that could just field the right number of players on the court. It's hard to beat them 3 times in a season. Florida made it harder for themselves because Georgia tried making it easier for Florida. And Florida Tyrese Samuel was trying to shoot free throws lefty thing because I don't know, granny style, something. But the current way, not working. Or just shoot them how you shoot floaters, because you were making a couple of those from the free throw line. And you probably shot a higher percentage on floaters from the free throw line than free throws. So I'm just saying. It's a suggestion. It's a suggestion. I'm not a basketball guru here. It's a suggestion. Yeah, too inconsistent. Yeah, just inconsistency's a son of a you know what. Especially when you get to the tournament, both the SEC and March Madness and NCAA tournament, inconsistency is going to be the death of you. Like, you have to, or at least if you're going to be an inconsistent team, get hot at the right time, because inconsistency implies you have really hot spells and really cold spells, and it's just like they ebb and flow. Get hot at the right time. Right now, this team's playing sloppy basketball. The loss to Vanderbilt, the close win over Georgia here. It's an ugly one. If I were Portal got tired, I'm making Samuel shoot like 500 free throws tomorrow. That's my main gripe with being a bad free throw shooter. I understand like you can't practice the environment, you can't practice the atmosphere that's actually going on around you. But like that's something where you could just sit at the line and go, all right, like I don't need anybody else. I'm just gonna shoot these free throws. And even if you need somebody else like to rebound for you, play for a pretty big program. I'm sure you could find someone that'll get the rebound for you. It is, yes, it's a 9:30 game tomorrow, but tonight's game was also a 9:30 game, and it ended up tipping off at about, I think it was like 10:03 was the tip. So we're probably going to see, I'd imagine, a similar tip time tomorrow against Alabama. But thank you so much for making Locked On Gators your literal first listen of the day every day. We are available daily and free, and in about 2 hours on audio, 7 hours on YouTube. We're going to be joined by Brian Smith to talk about Florida Gators recruiting. It'll be fun. Micah Hanlockton still had like 0 points, 4 fouls. I'm glad I remember that. I was signing up for Finner, but yeah, please. I don't know what's up with Micah. I couldn't tell you. It's wild. But for Locked On Gators, I'm Brandon Olsen. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at WNS_Brandon. Find all my written work with Giants Country and NFL 33. And as always, I will see you all next time.